It is your girl Jade Ashley, and I want to welcome you back to an all new video of When the Beat Drops. And like always, I'm here to give you my 5 hottest beats in music of this week. So of course, you got to stay tuned for more. Okay guys, so let's dive into this week's beats. Now, I told y'all last week y'all was gonna see me again. Y'all was gonna see me again because J. Cole was dropping, and I had to come back and talk about it, okay? I had to come back and talk about it. I couldn't wait to do this video. So my first beat of this week, as you guys should already know, I am talking about J. Cole dropping his 6th studio album, The Off Season. Definitely highly anticipated. So last week I let you guys know that he kind of just, he gave it in a week advance type of notice. So it was generous of him to do so, because I feel like J. Cole is definitely, he's reached that plateau within his career where he could pull a Beyonce and drop an album whenever he feel like it. He don't need to do promo, but he let us know a week in advance, and he gave us a couple of things, leading up to this album. So if you watched last week's video, it wasn't that many of y'all that watched it, but for the few of you guys who did watch the video, you guys know that I did talk about how I was really hoping that with this project that he was going to give us a documentary. He's done it with previous projects and stuff like that, and I promise you, I feel like I spoke it into existence. Now, it wasn't as long as previous docs. I had mentioned that he had I think it was like 2 previous docs that was on HBO and stuff like that. But literally that same exact weekend that I dropped the video, my video dropped that Saturday. On that Sunday, which is actually on Mother's Day, he announced that he was doing the off-season documentary, which was literally about like a good 12 to 13 minutes. He dropped it on his YouTube channel, but needless to say, I ain't here to complain. He gave us a little bit of kind of like the backstory, how long he's been working on the album. I know I mentioned to you guys that he did kind of like an essay. We're in 2021, so I think that was probably like 2019, 2020-ish. I can't pinpoint it, but like I said, I remember him. He was talking about his love for basketball and music and all of this other stuff. And within that, essay, I kind of feel like a lot of the things that I read within it, and I think it was Slam magazine. Granted, he's on the cover of Slam magazine now, but I think it was Slam, if I'm not mistaken. It was a sports publication. I'll just put it at that. And I'm so mad that I could not. When I promise y'all, I tried to find it before this. I pressed record, but I could not find it. But I promise y'all, if the biggest, J. Cole fan, whatever the case may be, I'm a big J. Cole fan. But if y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, please drop it in the comments below, because I know I read it. And some of the things that I read in there, he kind of talked about in this, 13-minute documentary for the off season. So one of the things that I did mention, I believe last week, where I said that he came back to New York, he lived in the same place that he lived in when he was here, going to St. John's and stuff, just to kind of get like back in that mind and that, headspace and all this other stuff like that. So we got to see the crib he was living in Queens and stuff. So like I say, he talked about that. He talked about having writer's block, and once he finally had like the creative juices flowing, he was kind of like hoarding songs and stuff. I know one of the records that he said that he dropped that was actually supposed to be a part of the off season was actually Middle Child, but he ended up dropping that as a single and stuff. So like just that alone got me hyped. But then he just kept on going. So outside of doing the documentary, he actually did a freestyle, 2 freestyles on LA Leakers. Now, like I said, I feel like J. Cole is definitely at that plateau within his career where he does not have to, he doesn't have to do a promo run. He does not have to do he's J. Cole. At this point, he don't got to do a promo run. All he got to do is say, I'm dropping an album, and people are going to go crazy for it. It's going to do his numbers. It's going to go platinum per usual. Like, he's literally in that position within his career. But it was just kind of like, I just kind of felt like he was just building momentum for today, which is Friday, May 14th. And so, yeah, he did his freestyle on LA Lakers, and I was just like so hyped. Like, I'm just like reminding y'all niggas, like, I'm the 1 and the 2, okay? That's literally what I got from it. And at 12, I was up. So when the album dropped, there was a lot going on. There was a lot of people that dropped today, and we're going to talk about the other people that dropped today as well. But I just had to get to J. Cole first and foremost, because I kind of warned you guys last week that I was coming back to talk about it, because I was really, 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 really fiending for this album. But yeah, overall, great body of work. Literally from start to finish, I listened, and then after the album was over, I played it again. Like literally, that's exactly how it was for me when the album dropped and stuff like that. I'm gonna talk about a couple of the songs. I'm not gonna talk about all of the songs and stuff like that, just because it hasn't even been like a full 24 hours just yet. So obviously I still gotta like absorb it, but I just feel like as a full body of work and not skipping through is absolutely amazing. I know prior to him actually dropping the album, so the album dropped Friday today, and he dropped the track list, you know, earlier in the day on Thursday. And one thing J. Cole is known for is going platinum without any features. So he dropped the track list actually, and everyone's like looking, we see no features on the track list technically. So literally no features was trending on Twitter, but he actually does have features on this album. So 95 South, that's the opening of the album. When I tell you I got so hyped, and I think I got hyped only for the simple fact that he has Cameron on that record, and I don't know if it was the New York in me or whatever the case may be, but I just kind of feel like that's like the perfect setup for this entire album. Like it gets you hyped. J Cole, Jermaine, I was like, I love Jermaine so much for this album, but Jermaine, he was just like, or J. Cole, whatever, you know him, he was just spitting, and like it was just getting you hyped up, it was getting you amped. I don't know if that was I want to say it was Lil Jon on there too as well, but definitely, you know, he had Cameron backing him up on that record, and I just kind of felt like that was like an amazing, you know, starting point, an amazing setup for the whole album to, you know, just kind of get loose and kind of just go, you know. Long story short, I'm going to skip over to the third record, which was My Life. So like I said, he released the track listing, but it didn't mention any features. But like I said, he does actually have features. So on My Life, he has 21 Savage and Moray. Now, let me tell y'all something about Moray. Moray, he's absolutely talented. So the very first time, and this is dope for Moray because he's a new artist, and for him to be featured on J. Cole's, you know, album, that says a lot about him. And I know J. Cole is a fan of his work only for the simple fact that the very first time that I heard of Moray, The Game, he was doing, I don't know, they said that a couple of artists, they be like scamming people or whatever, but what I can say is that, you know, a few of these artists, they like to say that they're going to use their platform to kind of just like bring attention to up and coming artists and stuff like that. So I actually saw Moray on The Game's Instagram for the first time, and that's when the Quicksand video had just came out, and I was listening to it and I seen it and I was like, oh, this song sounds kind of like dope. So that was like the very first time that I heard of Moray. So I went to his Instagram, mind you, that's like I said, this is literally when the Quicksand video first came out. So I went to Moray's Instagram and I saw that J. Cole commented, and it was like giving him his props and bigging him up and saying that he liked his stuff or whatever. So I think it's pretty dope that J. Cole actually put Moray on his project. You know, he's still fresh in the game, new. He just dropped his, I think, full length project, like, you know, but he's definitely killing it. So I was happy, I should say, to see that he actually got a feature on there. And then of course he had to feature 21 Savage. 21 Savage was actually in the documentary as well, and like 21 Savage, him and 21 Savage, they got their Grammys together. Like J. Cole's, as dope as he is, his first and only Grammy is for A Lot, which is, you know, 21 Savage's song that he's featured on and stuff like that. So I mean, why would he not have, you know, 21 Savage on his album? Like, we know he don't do features, but if he gonna do a feature, you know, why would he not have 21 Savage? They won a Grammy together, and you know, that's his first Grammy. So I thought that was pretty dope. But other than that, Applying Pressure, that's my shit. I love the beat, and I love everything that he's saying on it. Like, I feel like, and I know J. Cole feels like, because he knows he's that nice, that he can pop his shit. He's humble, but if he want, he could pop his shit. And that was that record that he was doing that. Applying Pressure, absolutely love it. That was one of those records where, like, once it was over, I was like, wait, let me run that back real quick. Like, instead of skipping records, I was actually running records back. So Applying Pressure was definitely that first record. Like, after I heard it for the first time, I was like, hold on, let me press rewind. I need to hear that again, because it was just literally that dope. I want to move on over to 100 Mil. That is featuring Bass. So actually 100 Mil, and I think one of the lines that was sticking out, because you know, like when a lot of these albums and singles and all this stuff drops, like if you go to Twitter, because it's going to be trending and stuff like that, you know, people kind of like pinpoint like certain bars and all of this other stuff. So with 100 Mil, the line about if Michael B. Jordan hit up my girl, she ain't gonna pick up, or whatever the case may be. That was probably not the exact words, but that's the concept of it. That was literally one thing that was just kind of like sticking out to a lot of people. Pride is the Devil, that's another good record, and that features Lil Baby. And like Lil Baby, as we all know, is literally hot right now. So for Lil Baby to have a feature on J. Cole's album literally, you know, says a lot about his artistry that we already knew. And yeah, Pride is the Devil is another good one. Let Go My Hand. So now Let Go My Hand, which is featuring Black and Bass, that caused, it didn't cause controversy, but it was definitely headline worthy, was because he said my last scrap was with Puff Daddy. So a couple of years back, there was rumors that J. Cole and Diddy had gotten into a fight and stuff like that. No one could prove it. It was just a rumor. I think Diddy even came out and said that it wasn't true or whatever. But J. Cole said it in that record. He said, you know, I had brought his album, you know, I used to like look up to him and all of this other stuff. But I'm sure they're pretty cool now. He actually ended the record with a prayer that was, you know, recited by Diddy and stuff like that. Interlude, which was the first record that he dropped, we talked about that last week. Just hearing it as you listen to the album as a whole, and then you just listen track to track, like Interlude, it just fits perfect. Like it's just like the Climb Back. That Climb Back was actually I think the record that I was talking about that he dropped like last year was 2, and it was like the Climb Back and then Lion King on Ice actually was the 2 records that he just dropped like last year. I think it was like last summer or something that I had mentioned last week and stuff like that. So excuse me. Overall, the project is dope. I'm excited. I had mentioned to y'all, you know, the essay that I cannot remember the publication, but it was a sports publication. I know I've read the whole thing, but you know, I talked about how you know, J. Cole, he kind of talked about his love for basketball and his love for music, and you know how he chose to put more of his focus on music, and then he always talked about the what ifs, you know, he would achieve basketball and his, you know, he has a love for basketball. So outside of like the news with the album this week, he's supposed to be playing professional basketball over in Africa or something like that. So I guess he doing both. He figured out the way to do both. So yeah, I'm actually hoping that he can drop like another or a couple of more videos as far as like the documentary side of, you know, the off season. I don't know if he wanted to turn it into a series, and maybe that's why the video was only like 12 to 13 minutes. He didn't do like a full-length doc like he did on HBO and stuff like that before. But overall, I absolutely love it. I promise y'all, like, I was so happy listening to this album. I literally said, I went on Twitter and I was like, I love Jermaine so much. Like, this album is just everything that I expected. And yeah, I will be listening to it. I will be, you know, learning. I'm in the process of learning the words right now. Like I said, it ain't even been 24 hours yet. But, you know, I've been hearing it, hopped in the car, it's already playing on the radio. That's just how dope of an artist and how much people are so excited to have like a full-length J. Cole album. So shout out to Cole World. But other than that, we're gonna move on to my second beat of this week, and this was obviously the talk of the night as well, along with J. Cole. Like, I feel like it was even, you know, usually when this is a Music Friday type of thing. We talked about Music Friday before, and that's when literally everybody drops. You know, Friday is the typical day for people to drop stuff, but like I just feel like everybody was dropping, you know, on this Friday. And the big thing is that Nicki Minaj is back. Nicki, she has been gone for a minute, but she back with the Jump Off. I know Barb's don't get me because that's a Little Kim line, but she is back. And when she did this, like, I don't think none of us seen this coming, but it's like when it happened, it just took me back. So Nicki, she has been dropping, not videos. Well, she did one video, but she's been dropping content on her Instagram. So photos, she did a video and stuff like that. She's just been letting people know I'm dropping something Friday. So she got on live late Thursday, right before it turned 12 on Friday, and she announced that she was dropping Me Up Scotty on all like streaming platforms. So if you wanted to hear anything from Me Up Scotty, 9 times out of 10, for me, the last time I was listening to Me Up Scotty, that when it wasn't like streaming, was on YouTube. You gotta go to YouTube, type in Nicki Minaj, Me Up Scotty, and then a couple of songs here and there. Not the entire project, but a couple of songs here and there, the most popular songs and stuff that you can find on YouTube. But now Me Up Scotty is streaming on, I believe, all streaming platforms and stuff like that. However, she did a little add-on to this. So there are actually 4 or 5 records before you get into the actual Me Up Scotty mixtape that we all know. First of all, Me Up Scotty is a classic. Playtime is Over, classic. Like, literally, that is the beginning of my high school career. Like, when I got into high school, Nicki Minaj, she was up and coming, and she was just that girl. She was that bitch. Like, her music, you wanted to have Nicki's music on your MySpace page. Like, it's that type of era we talking about when it comes to this. So, like, Me Up Scotty is definitely a classic, without a doubt. But what she did, actually, there's 3 new records. The first record is actually Seeing Green, which is her, Drake, and Lil Wayne. Like, I want the old Young Money days back, honestly. Like, hearing all 3 of them on that record together, Nicki, Drake, and Wayne, I was like, I want those old Young Money days back. Like, it was just taking me back. The whole Me Up Scotty was just taking me back. And, like, I just felt like that freshman in high school again. And I was like, I want it. I need it. Like, let's just take it back to the basics. And basically that's what she says she's doing right now. So she has Seeing Green, which is a new record. She has another record called Fractions, and then there's a Crocodile Teeth remix. Now, I don't know the artist that the Crocodile Teeth song comes from, but his name is Skilly Bang. I think he does like Afro beats. And what's crazy is that when she dropped it, I had looked it up, and then I guess like he had shared the cover, like the Crocodile Teeth like remix and stuff, and it showed him and Nicki, and he ended up deleting it. And then I guess he faced backlash because people thought he was lying about having Nicki Minaj on a remix, but she ended up putting it out and stuff like that. And then she dropped 2 other classic songs that were just regular singles that weren't a part of any projects, which was Chirac and Boss Ass Bitch remix. So those were definitely some throwbacks that just fit in perfectly. It just kind of just gave us that old Nicki mixed with new Nicki for the first 2 3 records. But I didn't listen to the Crocodile song or whatever. Definitely been listening to Seeing Green and Fractions, without a doubt. But yeah, I was like, Chirac, that was the first time I ever heard of G Herbo, and that's when he was Lil Herb. Okay, so if you know G Herbo as Lil Herb from Chirac, you a real one. Like, that's a real throwback. That's the first time I ever heard of him. But yeah, the Seeing Green was dope. She actually, when she was on the live, she went live with Drake and stuff like that, and they talked about the record a little bit. So she kind of talked about how she had her downtime. She had a baby and all this other stuff, but in that downtime, she also had faced writer's block and stuff like that. So, she talked to Drake. Drake kind of gave her like his little speech or whatever that kind of helped her get out of her writer's block. And, he actually sent her that record, and she hopped on it, Wayne. And like I said, I just want those old Young Money days back. Like, y'all don't even know the Fractions. She kind of opened up that record. She was talking about, I did the mother thing, I did the wife thing, and so like it's giving what it's supposed to have gave. And it's like, once you get past the new stuff, and then you kind of get to that old stuff, and you just kind of listen to Me Up Scotty. Killer DJ was my shit. Keys in the Palm Trees was my shit. Go Hard was my shit. Like, if you don't know, please teach the kids. Please teach the kids of today of that classic. So shout outs to Nicki Minaj. Thank you so much for putting Me Up Scotty on streaming platforms. Please do Playtime Is Over next. Okay, the new record's absolutely dope. Love them. It's giving me all the vibes and giving me all the feels, and I just want the old days back. And hopefully, you know, with the route that she's going, because she talked about going back to the basics, we can kind of get that. So yeah, definitely comment below. Let me know your thoughts on Nicki's new records, how you feel about Me Up Scotty being on streaming platforms, because I absolutely love it. But other than that, we're gonna go to my third beat of this week, and I have to talk about the Migos. So the Migos was another person, well, people, they also dropped today as well. So they dropped their first record, I believe, off of Culture 3, which is what is it, Stressin? No, it's Straightenin. They spelled it a little bit different, but Straightenin. And what I will say about this record, first and foremost, this is the record, literally, Quavo gave us a little bit of snippet of this record one day, and literally, and this is what, we're in May, so I think this happened like last month or something like that, or was it at the end of April? I mean, at the end of March. Look, Quavo, he gave us, this is the same day that elevator video with him and Sweetie. The same day that video dropped was the same day he gave us this preview. But how it happened was he kind of dropped a good couple of, what was it, 10 to 15 seconds. Literally, it was like a couple of seconds. And then about a good 2 to 3 hours after he dropped that, that's when TMZ dropped that elevator video. Literally, that's exactly what it was. So when I heard the record, I was like, oh, this is the song that he had dropped right before TMZ fucked it up and dropped that elevator video. Literally, that's the first thing I said when I heard the record as a whole. But I definitely think the record is dope. A lot of people have been waiting for the Migos to kind of come back, you know, because the Migos, it was riding high, you know, doing Migos shit, and then they had their solo projects and stuff, and then it kind of seemed like, I'm sure, like, in real life they didn't go their separate ways because they are all related in some way, but you know, Offset is over here with Cardi B, Quavo was over here with Sweetie at one point, and you know, they not together no more. And then Takeoff, he's quiet. Takeoff is quiet. I don't know what he was doing, actually. He mind his business. He stay out of sight, out of mind, like, you know, and just come out when it's time to do music for the most part. But yeah, I just said that I wish that they probably would have chosen a different release date, only just because I kind of feel like they didn't get the attention that they probably expected, just because a lot of people have been talking about, oh, we can't wait for new Migo music, seeing them work together. They was showing like a lot of like behind the scenes stuff, letting people know that new music was coming, you know, Culture 3 is coming, and people were excited about it. So I think people are definitely excited about new Migos music. I just kind of feel like they didn't get the attention that they were expecting, just because you got J. Cole dropping and you got Nicki dropping. So like, unfortunately, like the attention was just not there for them. And truth be told, honestly, the whole Nicki situation, that just kind of like sprung up. Like, she just started posting this week and was just like, I'm dropping something Friday. But at least with J. Cole, we got a week in advance. So once y'all saw that J. Cole was dropping Friday, May 14th, y'all probably should have been like, maybe we should wait till the following week. You know? That's what I thought. That's what I would have done. But I think that, you know, probably once everything kind of like settles and stuff, and people kind of could, you know, take their attention and, you know, kind of get off, because they're not getting off of J. Cole, and they damn sure not getting off of Me Up Scotty right now. I'll tell you that right now. That's all everybody's talking about. That's all everybody's listening to this week. So I guess once that kind of dissolves and we kind of get used to it, we can probably place our attention on Amigos. I don't know, maybe y'all could comment below, let me know that, you know, are y'all into the record? Have y'all heard it? Did it capture your attention just yet? You know, but the record does sound dope, I'll say that. And I am excited to see what they've been working on and what their new album sounded like. And yeah, so that's that. And my fourth beat of this week, this is the last new song that I would talk about, because like I said, everybody and their mama been dropping, and this is not even half the stuff that I'm talking about that's been dropping. I'm just talking about the main stuff and the stuff that's of interest to me. And this song was definitely an interest of to me, which is T-Pain featuring Kehlani with I Like Dat. They got a new song called I Like Dat. And the reason why this song definitely captured my attention is because T-Pain sampled his own song. So he sat here and sampled his song, I'ma buy you a drink. So he sampled Buy You a Drink. And anything with Kehlani captures my attention. I don't know if y'all know this. Hi, I'm Jade if you're new here. And I love me Kehlani. So anything Kehlani, Kehlani, Baylani, I like to call her sometimes. Anything with her captures my attention, to be honest with y'all. So I love her absolutely so much. I love her vocals. I love her music. So, just seeing that she had something with T-Pain alone caught my antennas went up. But when I heard like because I think they were like on live or something like that, and they kind of spoke about it and gave like a little preview. And when I heard like the Buy You a Drink sample, I was just like, oh, okay. So I think it's kind of, just like a fun little record. I think it's dope, for him to sample himself. Like, I don't know if artists sample their own music. Like, I think that concept is pretty dope. For you to take one of your biggest records, I think that was his first breakout record, if I'm not mistaken, Buy You a Drink. No, I'm Sprung was the first record. I think I'm Sprung was the first record, and I think Buy You the Drink was the second record. But needless to say, it's a T-Pain classic. So for him to take one of his classic records and then for him to sample himself, I don't think artists really sample themselves. And I thought that was kind of like a nice little twist, and definitely caught my attention without a doubt. So I'm seeing T-Pain, he out here answering these DMs and dropping his new music, and I'm here for it. So yeah, other than that, we're going to talk about my last beat, and I definitely think this is a kind of like deserving type of like, this is some real music news. And I am talking about Jay-Z, LL Cool J, and Tina Turner being among the inductees for the 2021 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I pay attention to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame every year. And I think this kind of started with me during my senior year of undergrad, and that's when I first started interning for TSR. So for quite a while, I would be like the primary person that would kind of like deliver the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame type of news. So I actually get the newsletters. So literally when the news came out, I saw it in my email and I was like, oh shit, like Jay-Z, LL Cool J, because they tell you who's up for induction, and people actually vote. So the people that are inducted are voted in pretty much by fans and stuff like that, and you get to vote, and whoever gets the most votes, and people are nominated more than like several times actually. So Jay-Z and Tina Turner will actually be inducted in the performer category. LL will be inducted in the musical excellence category. And one thing that I wanted to note is that Clarence Avant, if y'all don't know who Clarence Avant is, please, I think it's still on Netflix. There's a documentary about Clarence Avant on Netflix. Y'all know me, I love music history, I love documentaries, I love to learn. And yeah, there's a really dope documentary on Clarence Avant, and just like all of the people's careers that he helped and helped jumpstart. Like when I tell you he had his hand in literally everything, he is so respected, and he's just done so much for the culture as a whole. So if you have not, I'm telling y'all, please go to Netflix, because I think it was a Netflix original. So I think anything that's like a Netflix original pretty much lives on Netflix. Please go see it, please. If you're like me and you like to learn that type of stuff, you're gonna like that. Clarence Avant is being awarded the Ahmet Ertegun Award, and Ahmet Ertegun was actually one of the former chairmen of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I don't know exactly what that means, or like the stature of it, but it has to mean something really great and really huge, because when I tell you this man's contribution to just black culture as a whole is absolutely wow. So I was just like, oh shit. So yeah, the actual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony goes down in October 30th to be exact, which is the day before Halloween. So yeah, but other than that, those are my 5 hot beats of this week. Okay guys, I want to thank you for tuning into this week's video, and of course, you know I have to end every single video by reminding you guys to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It would greatly be appreciated. Now y'all know I cannot end this video without giving y'all my song of the week, and when I tell y'all I am loving J. Cole's album right now, it's only right that I pick one of my favorite songs from the album so far as my song of the week, and that is Applying Pressure. So my song of the week, J. Cole, Applying Pressure. Once again, I thank you guys for tuning in, and I will check y'all next time. So, bye. Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.